Hello, everybody. This is Noah and John, and we are with UrbanDigs. And Johnny, today we are talking Manhattan, and we got a good one today. We got Peter Zaitzeff here from Serhant. He's going to be joining us today from the beach in the Hamptons. This guy, Johnny, 15 years in the business. He's done almost $5 billion in sales, over 1,000 transactions. I think he did over 300 million in the last year alone. He's in the Wall Street Journal. He's in New York Magazine. He's constantly ranked by Real Trends, Hollywood Reporter, Variety. This guy's just a machine, and we got him. And look at him. He's a positive energy all over the place. He can't wait to tell us what's going on, Johnny.
I don't. Frankly, I don't know how he has time to do this. I mean, I don't even have how you have time to breathe, Peter. So I appreciate you coming up for air on this one.
I don't have time to tie my shoes, let alone do a podcast.
You gotta go Velcro. You gotta get those Velcro ones.
Yeah,
we're gonna go into it. He's gonna tell us all his methods and processes.
That works a lot. Talk to Ryan. That guy is like on a plane every single second. He can do it. I can do it.
He is a big machine, that guy, Ryan. We love Ryan. We're big Ryan Serhant fans over here. We love what he's doing. You guys are doing amazing. And thank you for joining us, Peter. And I want to get right to it. I want to start high level. We got a couple of questions. We got about 15, 20 minutes of your time. Okay. Tell us, Peter, what is going on in the state of the New York City real estate markets today?
So I've been in the business, as you said, for 15 years. I personally have never seen a more consistent luxury market. And when you talk about luxury market, we're talking about $4 million plus. The Olshan Report has been my Bible. I don't look at everything else. Even with the Wall Street Journal, New York Times, they're always late to report on things by 3-4 months. The Olshan Report comes out every week, right? And it's just data driven, and it tells you how many contracts are signed per week. And so to put that in perspective, during COVID, when nobody was buying or in the city, we were doing around 1 or 2 contracts per week at $4 million. So that was a dead market. A really ballistic market that we experienced right after COVID, when rates were at 2%, was 45 to 55 contracts per week, right? I consider 20 contracts a very solid week. And now for the last 12 months, pretty consistently, we're seeing over 30 contracts. So there's a lot going on in the market with the pied-à-terre tax, with the new mayor. There's a lot of conjecture, et cetera. But the market itself remains very, very strong. And we're still seeing record prices being paid for especially downtown properties. You're seeing $10,000 a square foot, which you only used to see on 57th Street. A lot of my clients and a lot of the smart money is buying now. And that has to do with inventory levels. So inventory levels are at an all-time low. And then the pipeline for new developments in New York City is only something like 1,900 units between now and the end of 2027. And to put that into perspective, there's in inventory right now around 4,000 units. That's across the board. And then another, call it 2,000. The market absorbs 600, on average, 600 units per quarter. So if you do the math, there'll be zero inventory by the time 2027 rolls around. You can say something if you want.
I have so many questions I want to ask already. I don't want to derail you or interrupt you because you're on a roll. But first off, thank you for the depth and the context of that initial answer.
Yeah.
It tells me exactly what's going on. This sounds a lot. Now, I know you're too busy selling billions of dollars in real estate to watch some of the stuff that we're doing here at UrbanDigs. And we love Olshan's report. Don Olshan is the queen of real. She's the best. But I have a question for you because we've been talking about this macro dynamic of tight inventory, the fact that prices haven't moved in 10, 11 years, and the fact that we might be in a situation where we're eating each other's plate. There's no new development, no new pipeline. Right. Policies are coming in, and what's going to happen is rents are going to go up and prices are going to follow. And you're telling me, this is like the New York City investment thesis to a T, and you're telling me right here that a lot of smart money is buying right now. Do they see what's coming over the next 10 years here?
Exactly. They see what's coming. So artificially with no inventory, prices will automatically have to go up, right? And people want to be in New York City. I say this all the time. New York City, for better or worse, is the financial capital of the world, it's the social capital of the world, and it's the real estate capital of the world. And that's been the case since basically the Dutch founded it. And that will never change. No administration, no president will ever change the makeup of New York. And that's why people will always want to be in New York. And that's why prices will go up.
Man, I love it. I share your enthusiasm about the city. I think it's I think it's phenomenal. And every time the city, this is just my own aside, but sometimes I find myself going crazy in the city, but every once in a while, you go outside for a weekend or so, you come back and you just feel that energy. It's like, there's really no place on earth that has the same level of energy that the city itself is an experience. I mean, it's phenomenal. Yeah. But Peter, I wanted to dig into something really interesting you said, and we share the investment thesis. We share the idea that low inventory is going to start pushing prices up, even if it doesn't necessarily have that high volume to accompany it. And I'm wondering, from your standpoint, are you seeing that this luxury market tide is something that's going to be rising all boats? Or are you seeing any sort of divergence in the market between luxury, non-luxury?
I think, yeah, I know it's across the board. You're seeing, 1 million, people looking for first time home buyers looking as well as the luxury sector. So I think everything, and those are hard to find, right? It's hard to find a first time home buyer an apartment right now for $1 or $2 million in the city. I'm looking for several clients, and there is very little inventory there as well. I think we need policies that enable builders, to build with tax incentives. Remember when we had the 421A tax abatement? All of those have gone out the window.
I had hair back then.
I had a few, I have grays.
You're doing okay, Peter.
You probably can't see them, but I do have grays for sure. And Ryan has a lot of grays, so he's experienced it. But yeah, we need to empower developers to build again, and not just luxury homes. We need homes for the middle class, the working people in New York, because it's basically become unaffordable to be here. I do well, and I struggle to have 2 kids in the city. You go downstairs, my matcha costs $10. You walk out the door, you're spending $300 just to go uptown, with Easy Pass and everything that's going on. So we need to make the city more affordable. We need to expand out to the boroughs, right? Because there's more places to build out there, and free up the city and make it, what it's supposed to be and what it's always been.
Yeah, no, I love, and I share the common sense. I mean, and that's what it is. It's common sense. So let's hope that more people hear this and take it to heart. Peter, I want to dive. So just talking about the market, some of that bifurcation. If you're looking at, say, the luxury market, or even just in the market in general, are there any factors, like any elements that a building that'll make it stand out and sell easier or quicker than others?
Yes, 100%. And I honestly want to sort of pull this up, but I have the data. The biggest driving factor for a building to sell well is a Porte Cochère for what it's worth. Huh. So you look at any building, 220 Central Park South, 15 CPW. I was fortunate enough to start at 150 Charles, 160 Leroy. You also have 80 Clarkson, which is going up right now. Any of those buildings sell for a higher price per square foot, and the velocity for the sellout is also higher. So take, for instance, 2 buildings that launched at the same time that are very similar, 150 Charles and the Greenwich Lane. They both did incredibly well. 150 Charles has a Porte Cochère. It sold out in 3 months. Greenwich Lane took a couple years to sell out. But if you amortize it over a year, I have the percentages somewhere, but 150 Charles sold way quicker than Greenwich Lane, and they're both very similar. You had the same type of buyers at 150 that you did at Greenwich Lane. That's the biggest. Those buildings sell the best. And then another thing that people are looking for now is, obviously we had COVID. We had, it changed the whole makeup of how people live their life, because we realized that life is finite, right? and that we're not going to be here forever. So health and wellness and having amenities that are catered to that, whether it's a cold plunge, a steam sauna, an infrared sauna, a gym, all of these things cater towards health and wellness, help sell buildings as well.
I have to follow up because it's awesome. The first one I have is, so just to define the Porte Cochère, that's it's like a driveway you can pull right up to the building. Does that, just as someone who's not necessarily in that market, does that include like valet parking? Is there like a garage attached to that? Or are you just talking about the idea that you can just pull up, hop out?
Yeah, so pull up, pop out. A lot of them do have garages associated with them, but what it does is it creates privacy from the street. So from the curtain wall, you can pull up. So like if you're high net worth or if you're famous, you don't want to pull onto the street and get out. We've all seen images of the paparazzi taking pictures. In these buildings, you can oftentimes go down to the garage even, and then go right up to your apartment. You never have to see somebody. So there's a lot of an element to privacy and security that is intangible. And I'm going to talk about this. Like I have on my social media, we were talking about doing a video on this, and I will do it and I'll send it to you guys because Steve Cohen is a great broker. I really respect him. He just did sort of the history of the Porte Cochère, but I'm going to give the analytics to it.
Very
Nice.
cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Peter, I want to move on here.
Yeah.
If you can answer this one, I don't know if there's any secret sauce going on here, but if you can answer this one, this will be probably the best takeaway of the interview. How does one go about winning a big development client or just a very big, high net worth client? Let's talk about it that way. A big developer client, I would love insights there as well.
Yeah. So like, again, my insight on this is I started from the bottom, right? I was an unpaid intern for 3 months, and then Susan DeFranza gave me a job paying me $50,000 a year as basically a glorified admin. I got onto 150 Charles, which was developed by Steve Witkoff. We all probably know who that is. Big, prominent developer, and now we're helping with the Trump administration. So when I got onto 150 Charles, what I did is there's an offering plan, right? It's basically the Bible of what we as sellers have to provide a client, right? We can't just say that there's going to be a window and then we put a brick wall, right? There's got to be the guarantees of those things. So I memorized that front to back. And so what happened is the brokers that were on it, which I consider probably the best brokers of a generation, Leonard Steinberg, who we all still know, Rafael De Niro, Darren Sukenik, and Madeline Holt-Elganian, they took me as like, I just got in the business, but since I memorized it, they took me on showings. And so I learned from those guys who are the best in the business. Yeah. Every one of them does it differently. And then Steve took note of that, and he saw me and he saw something in me. And he was like, I want you on all my projects. So I went from there. I did 10 Madison Square West after that. And then I did 111 Murray right after that. And then he was like, we're doing a project with Ian Schrager in LA, and LA doesn't have vertical living, right? So we wanted to bring the sentiment of New York style sales to LA. So I went to LA and I sold the LA edition for them back in, I think, 2016. So winning the developer, it's not like you go out to drinks with this guy and you buy him a nice Hermes bag or something like that. It takes a long time to build trust between you and any client, especially the big clients. For instance, the sale that I did at 150 Charles, which was $60 million, was a record for downtown. The client I had known and worked, was trying to gain his business for 10 years. And he didn't trust me to sell the $10 million, the $60 million place first, right? He was first like, you know what? You can rent my studio for me. And then he was like, you can sell my one bedroom. And then he was like, this guy's a hard worker, and he's been giving me information, analytic information, week over week for 8 years. I'll give him the opportunity to sell this big apartment. It takes a lot of time, and that's why brokers get frustrated, right? It's like they get in the business, they think they're going to make $1 million their first year. It doesn't work like that. You have to work month over month, year over year, day over day, minute over minute. And it's a lot of sacrifice that we make to gain the trust of every single client we work with, and not just the high net worth guys, right? It's the little guys too, the co-ops, the studios, the $500,000 apartments. Like, every single relationship is important. And I firmly believe that, like, I want to be a person's friend before I even want to sell them real estate.
I mean, that's like a masterclass. And what's amazing, Peter, what's amazing is, I feel like I say this every episode, but I'm going to say it again. It's like we hear the same sort of sentiment from the top brokers. Everybody has their own way of doing it. But one is like, you've got to know, the table stakes, you got to know your stuff. And number two is like, you have to nail the relationship, and you put those two together. It's just a recipe for success when you do it your way. So it's interesting to hear how you do it. I don't think I could memorize an offering plan. I mean, that's pretty special.
Honestly, I was a real shitty student, but like for some reason, like I have like a visual memory that like I memorized the whole thing. Like, ask Leonard.
I dig that.
Have Leonard on and ask him if I memorized it. And not just that, that building has 91 units, 80 of which are different floor plans. And then 45% of the building has outdoor space. So I memorized all the square footages, and it was a hole in the ground. So I also knew the views, because we did those sky pan shots at every 10 feet. So I knew the view that the client was going to get from that apartment. And so it was great because I did that. Leonard and Raphael took me. Imagine I'm there. Raphael De Niro's like, you're coming on the showing with me with like John Bon Jovi and, the captains of industry. And I'm like, a kid in a candy store. I'm like, this is amazing. So learn, and
don't expect instant gratification. This takes, you got to seed.
Exactly.
You got to seed to get that yield later on.
Yeah.
Right.
And another thing I tell like everybody that I work with now is like, I've been doing this for 15 years. Like, I don't have the bandwidth anymore to do what I did before. And I was like, if you want to create value, you have to do it better than I can, right? And you have to know more than I know. And that's where you create value, right? For the team, for yourself. And that's how you grow to be a big broker.
I mean, awesome stuff. I want to shift a little bit because now I want to take your 15 years of experience and I want to put your future hat on. And I'm curious, Peter, what does the future of New York City real estate look like in your eyes?
Well, again, like getting back to this inventory thing, I think that it's going to become, at least for brokers, it's going to become more and more challenging to break through. I think the good brokers, the smart brokers will rise always to the top, but I think it's going to be really like tough road ahead because there's going to be not as much business. There's going to be more competition, which is the case with everywhere, right? Whether you're in tech, whether you're in finance, we now have AI, things are going to change. They'll change for our business. They'll change for healthcare. They'll change for all of the industries I mentioned. And I think it's going to be challenging for everybody. But
how should agents adapt? How should agents adapt to that? Any general things that you're doing to change what you're doing now to prepare for this?
I mean, now, like, I'm learning. I was like sort of a lone wolf for a long time, so I'm learning to delegate more, right? I have a bigger team. And that's been like the biggest challenge for me, I guess, over the last 2 years. I'm doing more of this media stuff since I was on the show. And that was like, if you talked to me 2 years ago, I could not speak in public. I was shaking. My voice would crack. I was so nervous. And now, and that was part of why I did the show, is because I felt stagnant. I wanted to get out of my comfort zone. So this is what I always say to everybody. Always challenge yourself every week. Get out of your comfort zone. Be uncomfortable. And that's what I did at the beginning of my career. And I did it for a while, then was stagnant. And that's why I went on TV, because I wanted to grow as a human being. And so continue to do those things and the rest will fall into place.
Yeah, you know what? I'll second that. I was scared shitless myself when I started doing some of these live things, and
Yeah.
I'm still scared.
John's like shaking before we even go.
Yeah.
Live presentations as well.
I'm a little shaky from the matcha.
Yeah, and then your mouth gets dry, and you get like nervous a little bit, and you can't think straight because you've got all these signals from your body trying to be like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
And it becomes a cycle, right? But
Right.
I've realized a couple of things. First off, we all stink at it when we first do it anyway. The key is, do we learn and do we get better and do we try to get better at it? So you gotta keep doing it. And if you do keep doing it, you are going to get better and better at it. And then before you know it, you'll have a skill that you'll be able to do. And in this day and age, you need to get on that TV show. And you need to get into that media outlet because all of us agents are trying to one up, right? We're trying to compete with you. It's a tough industry. It's a shark eat shark industry. And that leads me to one of these final questions, Peter. And this has been the whole thing's been fantastic. And I know you kind of mentioned it right now with adapting, going out your comfort zone, but I want to see if I can get one more strategic tip, one more production tip. If I'm an agent and I'm trying to increase my level of production to the next level, is there a general guide or tip that you would pass on to help? I know it's not just one, but
it's
whatever
not
you
just
got.
one. It's like you have to use what you have, right? So some people are great at code calling. I've never code called. I don't go after the parents at school. My kid goes to a nice school with fancy parents. I don't do that. So my thing is natural organic relationships, and time will create those, right? But certainly agents are using AI more. They're using, eBlast, the CRMs, right? They have a really good CRM, which is certainly helpful. I think AI will also help as well. But again, like my thing is, this is an emotional business, right? You're often working with people. This is the biggest purchase they'll ever make, right? So it is 50% analytics and it's 50% emotion, and you'll never take that 50% emotion away. So you need to be a people person, and you need to treat people with respect, and you have to treat them the way you want to be treated. And then the rest, again, will take care of itself. And that's how I do my business. And it takes a while to do that, but it's organic. I've never
the human element.
What's that?
It's the human element.
The human element. I don't think I've done one deal in my career with somebody that I knew prior to entering into real estate.
Wow.
Like I don't sell to my friends because it's not worth it. I help people that, need, because I'm decent at what I do, I guess I would say.
I love it. The golden rule. And all right, so I want to follow that up, Peter. This is now a bonus question. We're in the bonus round.
Bonus round.
I know you're an avid runner, and I'm curious, how has running contributed to your success, balanced you out? Like how do you view running and sort of like that physical exertion over long periods?
And running is obviously an endurance sport. And I've run marathons. I've done a couple ultra marathons. It beats you up, right? I often say, like with work, we're running a marathon every single day, and we don't know where the 23rd mile is. So you can be beat up all the time, and then you don't know until you know when the 23rd mile is. And the 23rd mile, we all know, is when you know that you're going to finish the race, right? And you're going to get to the end of it. And so being able to get knocked down every single day and then pick yourself back up is something that you need. And that goes into running. Like, do I want to wake up every day and run 5 miles? No, but I do it. I work out every single day. I've done it for the last 5 years, right? And I was watching this, like one of this Kenyan runners or whatever, and he was like, just if you wake up, you don't want to run, right? So you don't want to run, but go out and run for 3 minutes. And then you run for 3 minutes, and then you feel good, and then you end up running for 30 minutes or an hour. So just get up and do the things that you need to do, no matter how many times you don't want to, or no matter how many times you get knocked down. I lose listings all the time. I lose clients all the time, and it happens. And my mom used to always say, with things like this, that things that can get you down, like let it roll off you like water off a duck's back. And that's it. And then you move on to the next thing, and the next thing's probably most likely better, right?
Yeah, it's important because it can become a
cycle.
very stressful, depressionary cycle when you deal with the hard truths of being an agent in New York City real estate. It is a tough industry. This has been fantastic. Thank you so much, Peter, for joining us for this. For the last 25, 30 minutes. I hope you guys got a lot of insights out of this. I'm going to say
you guys
thank
have been
you.
Great. No, thank you.
You've been great as well. Thank you to John Walkup over there. That is Peter Zaitzeff over at Serhant. Give him an email. Say hello. Say thank you. You never know when you'll do a deal together. And other than that, this has been Talking Manhattan, and we'll catch you guys next time. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.